This is a Nissan Note, and it is not a bad looking vehicle. It is also not a bad performing vehicle. You have performance on a budget while having the e-power hybrid technology to save on gas, and all of this in a small compact package. But this is not the version you want. Deep down, no, this is not the version you want at all. This is the version you want, the Nissan Note Aura. So there are three versions of the Note right now in circulation in Trinidad: the regular Note, the Note Autech, and the Note Aura, which I'm here at Millenium AUTO today to check out. Now the Note Aura is a slightly wider, faster, and more upscale version of the regular Notes. And yes, I did say faster. It's not quite as fast as the Nismo version, which you may never get over here, but it's definitely faster than the other Nissan Notes on the market. This particular unit is a 2021 model year and can be had for 150 something thousand. Millenium AUTO also has a newer model year, 2023, in red, not the pink. I know some people like the pink and all of that, but the pink is hard as well. But they also have a red version as well, so give them a check out. But let's take a look at the differences between the regular Note, which is this one that we all know, seen driving a body place, and the Note Aura. The regular Note was never an ugly vehicle, but they saw it and they just added a bit of refinement to it. Almost everything in front here except the hood is different. Starting with the grille. The grille isn't as long, but it's definitely wider. There's also a different pattern on the grille compared to the regular grille from the regular Nissan Note. This one has a more diamond etched finish. It's not quite like a diamond, but when you look at it, it looks diamond-esque. The entire front bumper is different, including where the fog lights are located, but the most striking thing has to be the new headlight assembly. In the regular Nissan Note, you have the turn signals being a part of the immediate headlight assembly, and then below all of that is where your daytime running light sits. But in the Aura, it's more sleek and refined. They remove the turn signals from on top and they put it below, and it's now sequential. If you look at it closely, it's not too sequential, but you can see it starts at the bottom and it ends on top. It just gives the whole thing a more mean look when you look at it. And if you look at either ends of the redesigned bumper, it has this curve upwards on the top and this curve downwards at the bottom that really lends itself to a more mean and aggressive look. Next, let's look at the different wheels. On the regular Note, you had hubcaps, and the tire size was 185/60/16. Wasn't bad looking hubcaps, but they were still hubcaps. On the Aura, you have larger tires and you have rims, like actual rims, no more hubcaps. And for your wheel size, you have 206/50/17 inches. Around back, they made some subtle changes. The biggest one has to be the rear diffuser area. You have this black piece by the bumper, which technically is part of the bumper, but is indented in the middle, versus on the Aura, it's just this flat piece right through. There's no indentation, there's no angle to it, nothing. Some may like it better, but I find it looks more bland. I love the new placement for the reflectors though. I love them on top there more. Now let's look at the trunk. There's not much to talk about in the trunk here. You have a light on the left hand side. There's no spare tire below here because it's a hybrid vehicle, so you have like different components below there. You do have a tire repair kit along with your jack and tools to repair a tire. The rear seats do fold down in a 60/40 split, which is standard across the automotive industry. 60 is the big side, 40 is the small side. And that was the exterior of the Nissan Note Aura. Yes, you do get things like a 360 camera, power folding mirrors with turn signal repeaters, and I really love that black roof on this pink. I'm not really a fan of pink for obvious reasons, but for some reason, this pink and black combo, it just works. But next, let's take a look at the inside and see what they changed on the inside there. Now the Aura being a more premium upscale version to the regular Nissan Note, you have a more premium upscale looking interior. This one is all black still, but it still has that leather and cloth feel that you would expect in a premium vehicle. Also in the Aura, you do get a rear USB and a pocket. The regular Nissan Notes on the base level did not come with a USB at the rear, but the Aura does. Now in the front is more of the upscale in the Aura versus the regular. In the regular Note, again, it wasn't a bad looking vehicle, it was well laid out. On the dash, you had a kind of carbon fiber strip running from left to right or right to left. You had comfortable seats that really hugged you in place. It made you feel like you were a race car driver, even though the Note is an economy vehicle. It's meant to be an economy vehicle, saving on fuel, just getting from point A to point B. But in the Aura, you have a more upscale finish. The seats have a more textured look to them, and they are also leather and fabric mixed. The center console has a kind of fluffy suede material on top of it, along with a new wood grain finish along the front there, and a new wood grain finish on this entire dashboard running left to right. So you have that same fabric material as on the center console and on the indentation of the doors running on top of the dash, and below that, where the carbon fiber texture finish was in the original, you have this wood grain finish running here. So it's a mixture of this new fabric material on top throughout the car along with this brown wood grain finish, and this adds to the whole upscale feel that they were going for in the Note Aura. But let's get back to those seats, because aside from the seats looking fabulous with that new textured indentation, you would notice that there are speaker grills on the headrest, left and right on both sides of the headrest. And it's not just there for show, it's actually part of the Bose premium sound system that the Note Aura has. Originally, it had 6 speakers. With these added, you have around 8 speakers. Now, because of copyright reasons, I don't usually play any audio from the speakers during my car reviews. But you can't review a vehicle that has premium speakers and not test it out. So let's test it out. If they're muted, you will know why that particular part of the video has been muted. So as you saw, that wasn't full volume, but it was close to full volume. It was 33. I'm guessing it's probably going up to about 40, but it was clear, crystal clear. It didn't have like earth-shattering bass to rattle your chest and stuff. But if you truly love music, you will value clarity over bass, just boom, 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 and you can't hear the mids, you can't hear the words, you're just hearing boom, boom, boom. This is not to say you're not hearing any bass. It's not just mids and highs you're hearing. You're hearing some down lows, but it's not earth-shattering. But it's clear enough for you to enjoy every song you can ever come across. And with those speakers right by your ears, you would think it'd be blaring in your ears. It's not blaring in your ears. It's giving more of a 5.1 surround sound system feel. So don't feel because it's right there, it's in your ear and your ear will hurt. The design is in a way where you're hearing it, but you're not hearing it loud like the speakers that are in the doorwell. It just adds a bit of immersion by your ears, so you feel like you are in the room that the song is playing in. But getting back to the more mundane of things, you have a cup holder for the driver and passenger, so left and right. You do have a glove box, one of the tiniest glove boxes known to mankind. I think they just put this here to fulfill some regulation requirement, like, yeah, we have a glove box, look at right here. But it really isn't that big. You do have vanity mirrors for driver and passenger, but they are unilluminated. For your rearview mirror has 2 modes. Just like the regular Note, you have this mode here with the camera, this mode here which is a mirror. I like the camera though. It's not high resolution, but it's clear enough to see what's taking place behind. And I'm guessing it's not high resolution because you don't want latency. Whatever is happening behind there must happen in your eyes in real time. So it's just good enough to see what's happening behind there. In the middle here, you have your climate control with a heated driver and passenger seat buttons. You have 2 USB ports, a 12-volt power outlet, and then your wireless charging pad below all of that. Further back, you have your gear selector, your start-stop button. You have your mode select, which is this button here. You can either go to normal, sport, or keep it in eco. You can force the vehicle to be in EV mode, and you have your auto hold button. You have the same heated multifunction steering wheel found in the regular Note. You have all your various buttons, answering the phone, hanging up the phone, changing tracks, adjusting your safety features, everything you can think about. Behind that, you have your 12-inch instrument cluster. I really wish they made the instrument cluster border slightly smaller. It's a big screen, 12 inches, but because of that large border, it just makes it look, it takes away from the premium feel of it. It takes away from the premium look of it. They should have either made the border smaller or made the screen bigger. But aside from that ugly looking screen, the interior of the Aura does look really, really nice. I mean, the original didn't look bad. The Autech stepped it up, and now the Aura stepped it up above that. On the screen, you can see a 360 camera active. You do have 6 airbags. You have your blind spot monitoring. You have a collision mitigation and your lane keeper assist. And the biggest one-up that Nissan has in the foreign use market compared to Toyota, Honda, and the others is that you can change the language from Japanese to English. I don't know why other automakers don't do this, which means this is the original head unit that the vehicle came with your regular connectivity via USB and Bluetooth. Now, while nothing is wrong with having an aftermarket Android head unit, it just has a certain finish when the vehicle has its OEM head unit that it came out of the factory with. And with that, let's now take the Aura out on the road and see how it compares to the regular Note and the Autech, both of which I've driven before at Millenium Auto. Whenever you see the Note Aura in person, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. It just stands out. Those slim down headlights and the way the front just angles in a kind of aggressive way, it makes the car stand out, especially compared to even the Autech, which already had a redesigned front end with a different grille and a different bumper and different light placements at the bottom. But if that was a refined version to the regular Note, then the Aura is a refined version to the Autech. And added to that, look at these headlights. Right now I'm driving with the high beams on as well. When you flash it, look at this flash. It just looks like a little star. Because they are so small, you just get this little beacon of light and you wonder to yourself, how could this small thing illuminate the road? But that's the beautiful thing about LEDs. They can be small but pack a serious punch. Now the Aura does come with all the safety features like I mentioned previously. Collision mitigation, blind spot warning, lane keeper assist. But it also has Nissan's single pedal driving or one pedal driving, and this thing is very addictive. If you drove a Note or any of Nissan's e-power technology vehicles as a first time vehicle and you drive something else after years of driving this, you are going to crash, and here is why. Single pedal driving essentially is you take your foot off the accelerator pedal, and like in any electric vehicle or any hybrid most hybrid vehicles, there's something called regen. So right now you can see the flow of power. It's coming from the battery to the motors. So the motor is what driving the vehicle all the time. Actually, it's not only now, but then when the battery is too low or the battery is depleted, the engine kicks in and starts generating electricity to fill back up the battery pack. So you can see the flow of power here. The yellow goes into the battery, that's the engine. The blue goes into the wheels, aka the motor. But when you're in regen mode, you will see the flow of the blue reverse. So you're going to see the wheels sending power back into the battery. And that is when the motors that are normally turning to drive the wheels are now being turned by the wheels, like when you're coasting to a stop, and they are sending energy back into the battery for use later. That creates a braking force. It creates a force that slows the vehicle down, which means you can simply take your foot off the accelerator pedal and the vehicle comes to a stop like you are mashing brake. And the faster you take your foot off the accelerator pedal, the faster that will kick in. And that is what they call single pedal driving, because you can drive, and once you get used to it, you can drive and not touch the brake at all. If you have to come to an emergency stop or to bring it to a dead stop, then you would have to mash the brake pedal. You can see I almost touched it there because it's instinctive that when something is happening in front, you hit the brake pedal. And that is where the problem will stem from. People who only have ever driven an e-power vehicle would get so used to never touching the brake. They would get so used to just taking a foot off the gas and the vehicle slowing down, that if you put them in a regular vehicle, by the time they realize that it's not going to slow down for itself, if you take a foot off the accelerator pedal, it's going to be too late. So while it's a good technology, it makes driving easier. It's like the ease of driving. You're literally just relaxing. Learn it in reverse. Learn the conventional first and then get here. Because if you get here and you get accustomed to being here and you find yourself driving something that doesn't have the e-power regen, you're going to bump into something. But let's talk performance, because remember, the Aura is supposed to be a faster, more powerful version to the regular Notes. While the regular Notes has only 116 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque, the Aura has 134 horsepower and 300 Newton meters, and you do feel it. While I was unable to do a full 0 to 100 speed test on this day, but just on the highway, I'm currently doing 100. The camera car is doing 100. Now just picture you want to pass somebody. You're already at 100. Look at this. You just do it with ease. Now the Note was never a slouch. Even though the Note is an economy vehicle, because it has that hybrid component that essentially acts as an electric vehicle, you already got that download torque from that 250 Newton meters, which was already more torque than most economy vehicles on the road. We're talking about the Corollas and the Elantras and all of them. But now you have a full 50 more. Now some put priority on horsepower. I put priority on torque, because torque is what makes driving fun. You never feel like you are struggling to accelerate. You never feel like you are underpowered. You just always have the power you need when you need it, which can get you into trouble with the law very quickly because the speed tends to climb. Just observe this clip here. Currently cruising at about 58 kilometers per hour. And then before you know it, 60, then 70, then 80, then 90, and it's going all the way up. It's just building and building and building and building until you realize, wait, now you get a speeding ticket. Now you do hear the engine rev a lot like all e-power vehicles, because the more you demand of the motors, the more current they will demand from the battery, and as the more recharge the battery will demand of the engine. So under heavy acceleration, you do hear the engine rev up as if the engine is propelling the vehicle forward, but it's really the motors and the battery, not the engine. All in all, I will give the Aura a pass. If I had to buy a Nissan Note right now, it will be the Aura. I wouldn't buy anything else until I can afford an Aura. Now, I know you all may be saying, well, I'm only saying that because Millenium AUTO let me review the vehicle and they are selling the Aura, so I'm picking up the Aura. It's not a matter of that, because Millenium AUTO also have the others. They sell the full range of notes. So it's not just the Aura they have. I'm just simply saying, I'm putting it to you, that if you're in the market for a vehicle within this price point and you can afford it, then 150 something isn't bad for the Nissan Note Aura.